Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Tech Informist. This is episode 43, recorded live on Wednesday, March the 11th, 2015. My name is Kevin Harvell. I'm joined by JJ Hammond. JJ, how are you today?
Hey, Mike! Guess what day it is? Guess
Yeah.
what day it is? It's Hump Day! That always makes Kevin laugh. I
Oh,
don't know why,
man,
but
big old
talking
smile on my
animals,
face.
yeah, talking animals, it's good for Kevin.
I don't know what
Especially
it
crazy
is.
camels.
What is it about puppets and marionettes and things like that that just, I don't know, always gets me laughing.
There was this thing
Stepped on 'em?
before, like the Fandango movies. There was this, and how does it make you feel? It was like this paper bag talking Sigmund Freud type guy. Anyways, today is what JJ doesn't and likes and doesn't like Wednesday. So what I don't like is executing children. What I do like is coffee.
Coffee's good.
Yeah,
Coffee good. Doing things, bad things to kids, bad.
yeah, that really sets me off. Like that, I read a couple of stories this morning that I just really ticked me off. Kids need to be kids, man. Leave them alone.
Yeah,
All right.
I haven't been really on the news today. We got some brother-in-law, sister-in-law. They're in town from Idaho visiting, traveling the country. It seems like they've been gone for like 2 months. So they've got an RV popped up outside, right outside the house here. So it's pretty cool. Staying, they'll be leaving tomorrow morning. So having a nice time visiting with them. So I haven't really been on the computer much today, but hey, it's episode 43 of the Tech Informist, which the Tech Informist, by the way, is a show intended to help inform and educate you, the listener and viewer, and even ourselves sometimes about the growing, rapidly changing world of technology with news stories, us giving commentary about things that we find interesting in the world of technology. You can get involved simply by visiting us at thetechinformist.com/live to watch and participate in our live chat as many people do on a per episode basis, which we record Monday, Wednesday, Friday at noon Eastern Standard Time, 3 days a week. And we do appreciate everybody that tunes in live. We do appreciate everybody that listens after the fact and or watches the YouTube replay afterwards. We've had really great response from our episodes from Monday, our pre-Apple event episode, and also our coverage of the Apple event. We had a nice spike in numbers for those two episodes. So really do appreciate that and welcome everybody that will be listening from here on out. Please tell a friend or two. You can send comments, suggestions, and feedback, whether it's app suggestions or movies and music picks that you guys think we might be interested in, and everybody else might be interested in as well. Send that to contact@thetechinformist.com. JJ, I
Indeed.
believe you're up first today with news stories here. You're leading off today.
You are correct, sir. So I just want to thank everybody again for downloading and listening to the show. We really appreciate it, and I want to go ahead and kick the first story off with false 4K TV advertising should be watched out for this year, says Forbes. I couldn't agree more. TVs in general are an interesting subject for me, just because TVs remind me of how our phones are right now. There are many different kinds of TVs. There are many different kinds of phones, many different features. Same on phones, and there's a bunch of crapware too. Um, Pricey and convoluted advertising pitches make it frustrating in looking for a new TV. No one wants to have an old technology, especially once you get the taste of the top of the shelf 4K market. And in this article, it talks about how 4K TV advertising is banned on some, and others are still getting away with it, claiming full HD, HD. You got the QHD. It's very confusing, like I said, and convoluted. And it's one of those things that kind of ticks me off. So when you go, if you're interested in TVs and different stuff like that, just do what I always tell you to do, which is do your research. And I think Kevin would agree with me there. Just to always do your research. Kevin sends me these cute little things where he shows me how to Google things, and it's hilarious. But he's right, and I think that spending the extra moments trying to figure out what you're getting yourself into, what the future looks like. Do you have enough space in the back of your TV for dongles and things like that are important? Kevin?
Yeah, if you've got enough, ports, whether you need a bunch of HDMI ports because you've got all these video game consoles or Chromecast or Fire TVs
Right.
and things like that, and your cable box. It's like, my goodness. I mean, thankfully, things like the Xbox One, you get kind of like the pass through and stuff like that, where it interacts with your cable box, and you really just need one HDMI port for all that stuff. But
Hmm.
yeah, you got to make sure that the companies are actually giving you what they're advertising. If it says 4K, make sure there's no little asterisk, and if there is an asterisk, make sure you look at the bottom to see what that asterisk detail is about, because it could say for certain information. They could be saying, "Oh, you get 4K streaming for Netflix." Well, not if your internet provider doesn't, handle that kind of bandwidth. You're not going to be getting that. So
Right.
I don't know. I'm not at the point where I'm like, "Ooh, I need to have a 4K TV or these
Uh,
refresh rates and stuff like that." I'm perfectly content
right.
with just a standard 1080p myself. But I have seen some beautiful TVs the last few months. So
Oh yeah, you went to CES. Holy cow.
yeah, there's some really great things on the horizon. That is
Yep.
for sure.
All right.
So, people that are familiar with Motorola know that with the Moto X, you can go to the Moto Maker website and custom create your own Motorola X, Moto X
Hmm.
2014. You could even do it with the 2013 model with different colors and backs and trim and buttons and stuff like that to make it your own.
Hmm.
Well, now, I want to say this might be in response to the Apple Watch. Maybe not, maybe so. Motorola is now opening up Moto Maker for the Moto 360 smartwatch, and you will have the option with three different colors. Let's see, what are some of the different colors here? Yeah, you've got a champagne gold finish and different color bands, and you can customize the case, the watch band, the watch face, and golly, there's all sorts of little things that you'll be able to do. I mean, it's pretty exciting. They show off kind of like a gold band. Sorry, they call it the light finish case champagne gold metal band. And then you've got the light finish case dark metal band, light finish case with a slim champagne gold metal band. There's all kinds of different little options. So if you're into the Moto 360, which it is a beautiful, beautiful smartwatch, that is for sure. If you're an Android user, obviously head over to Motorola.com and go customize your own Moto 360.
One of our members of the chat room actually has a 360. I would just say that the Moto 360 to me really represented over the summer what Android was really shooting for with their Wear line. It's
Hmm.
it has that quality feel to it. It's got the wireless charging. What we saw Monday from Apple, an Apple Watch, and so that's an inside joke too. Sorry, but anyways, so it's interesting to see that you can customize this. I like that. I really do.
Yes, yes, yes. So what do you got next there?
There, JJ. So I honestly don't think Apple cares what happens in the stock market as of late with the release of the two new products on Monday, the Spring Forward event. Apple released a new version of the MacBook and the Apple Watch in a couple of variants. The biggest news here, in my opinion, is the astonishing drop from a post-Apple event since, well, never. Most, if not all, Kevin, of Apple's most recent product launches have come to the majority of fanfare. Does the Apple 6 and 6 Plus ring a bell? It should, because there was a ridiculous lack of stock movement after the last Apple event. They just confirmed to the world, I think, in my opinion, that they're a luxury brand, period. To be clear again, I think that the new watch looks amazing, as does all their products, including the new MacBook. I do not see how loyalists can continue on the cadence of their device updates, though. So this was kind of my initial thoughts, because on Friday I'm going to do a little bit more of a recap, of some news that's come out of this week, because there are a lot of things that Apple didn't actually talk about while they were on stage that we are finding out from people in their hands-on reviews of stuff. But my initial thought here, it's very interesting that Apple's shooting for this. Are there going to be people out there who are going to go over and buy a new MacBook over an Air or over a Pro? especially with having to buy a $80 dongle. Now I know that's not a lot, but I mean when you're talking about mass market, that's going to be a concern. So Kevin, what do you think about this? This is the biggest drop in a post Apple release in the stock market since I can't even remember when. So what do you have to say about this?
Well, I mean, I don't necessarily worry too much about, the stock prices and stuff like that because it's, by it dropping or going up whenever they have these big announcements and things like that, it's like they're still going to sell a ton of these Apple Watches. They're going to sell a lot of these new MacBooks. Is the new MacBook really a good option for the majority of people? No, because I'm reading through a lot of these comments. People are saying, "Oh, well, you won't be able to hook it up to an external display." Well, the regular MacBook is not going to be a device that you're going to really want to hook up to an external display because you're not going to be editing video, you're not going to be editing photos and stuff like that on
Right.
it. That's not the kind of machine this is. This is for students. This is for business people that are going to be gone and just on the go and need something with wonderful battery life so they can type up their notes, type up the reports, check Facebook, maybe watch a couple YouTube videos here and there during some downtime. That is what this device is for. It's not going to be a production machine. That's what the MacBook Pro is for. That's what the MacBook Air is for. If somebody wants to have something a little bit smaller that's not going to be editing Final Cut Pro. That
Hmm.
it's like everybody's all up in arms about this MacBook, and I mean I can understand where they're a little frustrated with the USB-C port being the only port other than your headphone jack, but that's not what this machine's for. It's not a device that's there to charge your
Hmm.
phone.
Hmm.
I mean, it's not even really going to be a main presentation device.
Hmm.
But if for somebody that is going to be using it to do presentations and stuff on, yeah, they'll drop the $80 for the additional adapter dongle, as people like to say. But I think people are just looking for any reason possible to jump on Apple for this decision. I think it's a great device for its target market, and
And that is.
like I said, I mean students, business people that are on the go. It's not for the DJs and media professionals that need to be able to edit photos and videos out in the field or something. I think somebody even said, "Ooh, it'd be a great programming machine." No, not likely.
No.
I wouldn't go that way because I mean it's a Core M, it's a Core M CPU. It's just meant for battery life
Okay.
to get you through a seriously a full day probably of relatively normal use. But more people that need power, they're at least going to go with the Air. But most people are going to go with the 13-inch MacBook Pro. That's one reason why that version got updated, not the 15-inch with the new Force
Right.
touchpad and a few extra little changes. I
Right.
mean, I think Apple has things under control. They're not just throwing stuff up against the wall, just trying to hope something sticks. I mean, I think they've proven that, yeah, we kind of have an idea. We know what we're doing here. So I think some people just get bent out of shape over that. Now, the price of the Apple Watch, yeah, they got a little crazy with that. I'll just say that because the Apple,
Why don't you tell our listeners how much the one that you want would
oh,
cost?
it would cost me $1,100 before tax. So with tax, you're figuring another few $100s. I'm like, no, there's a couple other things I'd like to have instead of just a watch. So I think they're gonna sell a lot of
Yeah.
these sport
Hmm.
editions, I'm sure,
Hmm.
and you'll have a lot of people that buy the watch because I don't understand why they didn't go, okay, you got watch, sport watch, then watch
Hmm.
edition.
Hmm.
I don't know why they didn't say the watch is the basic baseline, and it's very confusing because once you start adding additional names onto a product, you, it's like for me, I see it, it's like up here, then it goes down here, then it goes back up here. So
Hmm.
it's kind of confusing, but I like all the options. I like the design.
Okay.
It's just a matter of do you want the kind of like sterling silver or do you want the regular kind of like iPhone Mac finish or do you want 18 karat gold? No. I don't need the 18 karat gold.
I don't mean to be mean, but I don't want to talk about Apple anymore right now. Oh
Oh,
wait.
oh wait, Kevin's got a story about that. So yeah, so I'll just move into my next story, and it's about Apple is donating over $50 million to help improve diversity in tech. Now, most people would sit and say during the Apple presentation Monday that there was only one female that came on stage, and that was, an ex-supermodel who's now utilizing this for doing a marathon.
All right.
Christy Turlington Burns, I guess that's her married name.
I know for sure no one knew who she was before that event because I didn't.
I
You know,
remember, I remember her from like uh, Sports
whatever.
Illustrated stuff like that. What can I say? It's that time of year.
All
Issues.
right. All right.
So, in an effort to improve diversity within the tech community, Apple is donating over 50 million to a pair of organizations working to get more women and minorities working in the tech industry.
That's good.
Apple's human resource chief Denise Young-Smith revealed that the company has partnered with the Thurgood Marshall College Fund and the National Center for Women in Information Technology to help improve diversity within the pipeline of talent coming into Apple and throughout the industry. So,
Okay.
Thurgood Marshall College Fund will receive over 40 million from Apple, and the National Center for Women in Information Technology to double the number of college graduates supported by the organization, and they will donate nearly 10 million over the next 4 years to NCWIT, the largest donation that organization has ever received so far. So
That's great. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
that's
wonderful. I mean, we talk about diversity in tech, and I think the biggest thing here that we all need to kind of keep in mind is that you know we should strive to be better people. Period. And when you clearly look at some of the things that are happening in industry in general, and me having gone to school a couple of years ago, and also the kind of stuff, seeing women, and different races of people coming through the computer science programs, it's very clear that lines are drawn in the sand sometimes, and I think that it's easy to push people out who could be very valued assets. Um, yeah, you might not be able to act like an idiot at work as much as you would want, but you're going to get a lot more stuff done and be more productive. And I think that we should all strive to be better, and then go home and watch Game of Thrones. But no, and then we should just strive to be better. And I think that I'm just giving you credit. I'm just being facetious or whatever. But I think that it's a way to strive to be better. And I think that Apple and Google, even I want to say Microsoft, even with the sidestep Satya Nadella had to do over the summer, which was ridiculous. But that was just stupid. But that's good. I mean, it's going to take a top-down approach instead of this bottom-up approach, right? So
Mhm.
I like this story. It's a good story.
Yeah, I mean it's exciting. It's what needs to happen. I mean, I know there's a lot of kind of like race, you know, division in the United States right now, especially, and things like this can help because children in the inner cities need help. I mean, of getting out of bad environments and things like that. I don't want to turn this into a big like soapbox thing, but I mean, any little thing to do to help get minorities and females into
Hmm.
technology because there's a lot of tech jobs and there's a lot of openings for people with great ideas that can help shape the future of the devices that we use and how society interacts with them. And so there's a lot of opportunity there if people want to take advantage of it.
Absolutely. Yep. And all right, let's go ahead and keep on flowing. We're doing a pretty good job. Windows 10, go download the ISO and install it on a virtual machine if you want to contribute to the newest version of Microsoft's operating system. Go listen to the last episode of the MS Mobile Show, and I explain how to do this in detail. Also, I have an article about how to do it. In an article from Windows Central yesterday, there may be more updates coming out at a faster rate than just once a month. This could possibly happen all the way up to the official launch of the final OS release this fall. Currently, there is a fast lane and a slow lane. If I stick with the highway metaphor for just a second for updates on the OS 10 version, in this latest update to the Windows Hub, Microsoft is saying, be ready for faster and more frequent updates on the fast lane. I hold my breath waiting for the release of Project Spartan, the new web browser from Microsoft. I am super stoked about this just because I really think that being a somebody who likes the PC, who likes using this stuff, that contributing and saying that I hate the icons or that I can't stand the way certain things are being done right now, and then
OneNote,
watching those changes,
OneDrive.
yeah, OneDrive for example, and then slowly watching these guys go, okay, maybe we need to fix it. It's not okay that they wanted to mess it up from the get-go, but it is okay that they want to fix it now after listening to user feedback. That is good. And I think if more people are participating in the feedback, you're going to get um, a lot more voices behind instead of like the show. Like if we get like one person that writes in all the time, that's great, but it's just the one person's view. It's not representative of everybody. But if you got like 10 or 15 people writing in and they're all saying the same thing, then we got to pay a heck of a lot more attention. I mean, that's just the way it works.
Right.
So that's why I'm trying to get more people to check this out. It doesn't cost anything. It's not going to mess anything up if you do it in a virtual machine. So if you're into that sort of thing, go ahead and go do it. Kevin, thoughts or move on to something that's kind of interesting to me?
The whole idea of kind of going with a daily release of, Windows 10 previews and stuff like that. I think that seems like a lot of overkill. I mean, I could see, hey, let's release something on Monday and Wednesday or Tuesday, Thursday, kind of like an every other kind of day thing. Just because, some people don't get to update their machine until the evening, and well, by the time they update it from this, and then hey, there's another daily the next day. It's like I haven't even had 10 hours with the build from Tuesday, and you're throwing something else out at me as well. But if they're just simple updates, we'll see. But I think releasing once a week would be nice instead of once a month or once every 6 or 7 weeks, like it seems to have been going lately. We're still waiting on a new Windows 10 build now.
Yeah. For March. Yeah.
Yeah, because they didn't release one in February.
That's muy bueno.
Yeah, it's bueno bueno.
All right. I want to hear about Android.
Yeah, so what's new in Android? Google has actually pushed out some factory images for Android 5.1 for, I believe, the Nexus 5, Nexus 10, and the 2012 version of the Nexus 7. Some of the changes involved in this is you'll be able to see some differences kind of in the quick settings. They kind of tweak a little of those. You'll be able to more easily hop between Wi-Fi access points and Bluetooth devices. You've got HD voice and dual SIM support with new APIs. So, that'll be coming as more devices support dual SIM cards as well. You've also got some screen pinning where you can, let's see, initial page of instructions a bit clearer, telling users to scroll up to see the pin icon and then check the checkbox to ask for a pin number or security pattern when leaving the pinned app now lives in the app pinning menu in settings security, regardless of whether you have the lock screen security enabled, making this option more discoverable. Some device protection, thing like that. They've played around a little bit with the volume and interruption settings. So, I know that was one of the biggest things with current version of a Lollipop is if you take the volume down and go all the way down, you can't just completely silence with no mute or nothing like that without having to pull down and change the priority setting to no interruptions or some interruptions, and you'll actually now see whenever it says for a set amount of time, you'll actually see the exact time that the interruption is set to expire, so you'll be able to get your notifications again. So just little things like that. I think you'll be able to get this over the air. You can just download the factory images as well by flashing the new image.
Awesome. No, I'm serious.
Nexus 5, and I don't have a Nexus 6 any longer, so.
Oh my God, what?
I know.
That's right, you don't.
Yeah.
Holy crap, am I the guy who has that? Oh,
yeah.
This is weird.
Yeah, so I've got to wait.
I don't like this world, Kevin. I don't like living in this world.
So I need something to drop for the Nexus 4, because I'm not going to load what the XDA developer came up with for the Nexus 4. I'm like, nah, wait. I'll wait for something official.
Okay, sure. Um. Okay.
I don't know. I've thought about getting another Nexus 6, but I will not buy it from direct from Motorola. I can tell you that right now.
Hmm. Right now.
Not after
Right
my
now.
last experience.
Right now.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's interesting. I would like to see you with a newest version of Android. That's kind of weird that I have it and you don't.
Well,
I kind of want to do a
you
neater.
haven't installed it yet.
I kind of want to do a neater. Oh yeah, I did. I turned it on before the show.
So you installed
So
5.1.
what you say that's you want more Android news? Okay, sure, I can do that. OneNote has made it to Google extensions. So that you can save your ideas now in OneNote using a Google extension called Obindo. It's Obindo. If I'm saying that wrong, I don't care. Um, Good job on you for adding this. Also, there's support for Yammer. That is interesting. Most people don't actually know what Yammer is, and that's okay, so don't feel bad. But I want to say it's a social media version of kind of like a LinkedIn, Facebook for your work. Yeah, that's fun, right? Not so much. The link in the story is up, so go check it out for the extensions. If you're like many people who listen to the show, listen in Google Chrome or Mozilla, which I have to say this real quick. I have been using Firefox as my main browser for what has it been, like a week, Kevin?
Yeah, I believe so.
Or so. I I'm really happy with it. I really am. I think it's on par, especially with some of the extensions with Chrome. But also the Xbox One SDK is available, and the Microsoft Band is SDK is available now for developers. So this is really cool. We're going to see developers get a hold of what they can do with the Kinect for the new Xbox One. What they could take advantage of the gaming system. That's awesome. There's just so much cool stuff that's going to be coming down the line with the Microsoft Band and Xbox One and the ecosystem and stuff. And I'm super stoked about Build that's coming around the corner. I'm really, really happy about all this stuff. So, Kevin, thoughts or move on?
It's a lot of great things, a lot of excitement. I mean, build. I'm really excited to see what's going to be announced and shown
I
off
am
there.
too. Yeah, I really am.
Might be one time I really watch a lot of those Channel 9 videos that they'll show over there as well from Build, 'cause they always show a lot of the sessions and the speeches and things like that come out of the conference. So
Hmm.
it's going to be interesting.
Did you just sing that to me?
So
It's
what?
gonna be
Never mind.
interesting.
So next up, this is another one of those things from Popular Science, and the
Love
other
this.
websites have kind of reported on this as well, but I really enjoyed the Popular Science write-up on this. Netflix team members apparently at Netflix, they have these little hack days where they kind of play around with different functions and features and things that they might roll out or just play around with and just go crazy. So this is actually a really crazy idea because I mean, as a child of the 80s and stuff growing up during that time, the Nintendo Entertainment System, one of my favorite consoles of all time, a lot of great memories. The Netflix team has found a way to hack where they could run and stream Netflix on a Nintendo Entertainment System. Yes, the same one that would came out 30 years ago.
Hmm.
Yeah. So imagine that to be able to do something like that. Now, you're wondering probably how they were able to get the internet connection to that. Well, many people may or may not remember, well, over in like Japan and the Asian countries, you were able to get a modem for the Nintendo, where I mean, obviously you couldn't play like online or something like that, but there were actually ways that you could do this, and they were able to use this, and they were able to use a what was it, a 256 megabytes cartridge that they used to put 256 kilobytes. Sorry, my bad, which is just a quarter of a megabyte. And that was the cartridge, and that's the amount of data that it could store. And they were able to actually run this through there on the Nintendo on an 8-bit gaming system.
That is so cool.
Yeah. Now, of course, the graphics will look like crap. We'll just say in a nice, kind word. But whenever we get these links posted, definitely have a look and check out the YouTube video here. Some of the other things that it said that they did along with this. Let's see. Other projects from Netflix Hack Day include a feature that lets you see the caption of a scene when you're paused, an animated globe showing real-time playback, and a system that requires you and your significant other to both provide pins when accessing the service so that you can't watch your favorite shows without them. Which, I mean, me and my wife will watch like Orange is the New Black, stuff like that. I
You
think,
watch that show? Do you like it?
yeah, it's really good. I mean, it's
Okay.
funny. I mean, there's a little bit of drama, but it's just more of a humorous show to me, in my mind. It's been watching a little bit of that since I finished House of Cards.
Interesting.
But I was thinking the other day, I'm like, why am I not watching Breaking Bad? 'Cause I've watched the first few episodes of that, but I need to get back into that and as my one episode of a night kind of thing.
Nice. Okay. Yeah.
So
Cool.
yeah, it's pretty cool.
So I just added a story that I thought was kind of cool. Since we're doing like super to duper good on time, was Microsoft released teams up with edX, which if any of you have heard of us talk about the Launch Code program, that's edX, and it's a free online IT class presented by Harvard University, and I did it, and it's gorgeous. It's really cool. You can learn a lot. They worked with Linux and Google and now Microsoft, which they actually used. I remember the first time I saw a class, the instructor was using a Surface Pro 1, I think, and he was running it into. You remember the old Pixel, those big TVs type
Hmm.
things, the megapixel things? He
Yep.
was running into one of those, and I was like, oh my God, Microsoft! Instead of, don't get me wrong, he was actually on a Mac, but then there was this other machine that he was running, a Pro to the bigger thing, and I'm like, holy crap, a college setting with a PC that isn't like a college provided thing. Like it's like, so that's kind of cool. Not to see those glowing apples all over the place, but and I know I'm in the minority. I don't care. But this is really neat. I think that a lot of you, our listeners, might find that the edX overall is interesting. And so I suggest I'm going to go ahead and put the link in the show notes. So click on the link. It's going to say Microsoft on it. So if you vomit in your mouth because you hate Microsoft or whatever, that's fine. But go just follow the link through to the edX course, and it'll clear your esophagus. I promise. And you will be the better or wiser for having known some of this stuff. I think it's good. I think that everybody should continue with this sort of continuing education on computers and stuff. I think that's
Right.
important. So
I mean, it's kind of like the Microsoft Virtual Academy that we
yeah,
talked
yeah,
about on
yeah,
last episode. I
yeah,
mean,
exactly.
that's
I was going to
a
say
lot
that.
of great content that you can get from there and translate that into other
Leanne,
services and
you made
things.
it.
Yes, Leanne makes it.
Yeah. Uh,
Just real quick, I know Rawl has mentioned also to remind us the Verizon will be carrying the Nexus 6 finally after
oh, yeah.
it being
I
available
saw that too. Yeah.
months. It's going to be online tomorrow, March the 12th, and in store on March the 19th, which will be next Thursday. So,
Millions. They took millions and millions of pre-orders, dude.
yeah, I know some of the reason I think a lot of why this delay happened was because of somewhat of the bugs that is in the Nexus 5.0 or the Nexus 5.0 Android 5.0 initial release, and they wanted to make sure that the bugs were squashed. Hence, now you've got Android 5.1 rolling out, and now you're seeing the Nexus 6 be finally released on Verizon. So maybe
Oh, my bad.
that's why it was kind of held back, I think.
I meant Verizon is taking we're taking pre-orders for the Galaxy S6. My
Yes.
bad. Not the Nexus 6, because nobody knows that phone. Everybody knows Galaxy.
Yeah. Well,
um,
what's a Nexus device?
what's our Nexus? I thought that was just a geek thing. No.
And before we move into the app and entertainment picks, I'd like to open up the naming of this episode to the chat room. I'd love to get some ideas what you guys think we should name this episode. We might
Well,
start doing this
let's.
going forward because
Yeah.
sometimes coming up with fun and witty names for episodes can be bit of a challenge from time.
So let's recap. We talked about false advertising for 4K TV for people who join the chat later, or for people who are watching later. So we talked about false advertising. We talked about Motorola smartwatch opening up to Motor Maker. We talked about Apple's Spring Forward event a little bit and about the stocks, and then we talked some more about Apple donating to an attempt to improve diversity in tech. Then we talked about Windows, ISO. Then we talked about Google rolling out Android 5.1, so that's good. Then we talked about Google extensions using some Microsoft stuff, and we talked about Xbox XDK and Microsoft banned SDKs. We also talked about Netflix teaming up, or sorry, we talked about the Netflix team members finding a way to stream Netflix using an NES, which is nuts.
It's just crazy, I know.
Microsoft has released a course on free coding courses through edX. So if you can find a name somewhere in there, I tip my proverbial hat to you, because holy cow, did we cover a lot of diversity. Maybe that's it. Diversity in tech.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the biggest stories is it's $50 million for minorities and getting women in technology from Apple. That's pretty big. It's pretty big. We'll see what the chat room comes up with though.
Yep. We'll see what they come up with. But that was just a recap. If I was going to spend my money on something, give me some feedback, listeners. What laptop should I buy? Like the best. I swear to God, if somebody I'm not going to buy an Apple, and I'm not going to buy a Pixel. A PC. Tell me which one I should get if I was going to get one. I'm not going to because I can't. But if I was, which one would I get? That's on the market right now. So let's go ahead and go into our app and entertainment picks of the week. I'm up first, which I usually am. Okay, so just so you all know this, that there is an official music, TV, and videos apps that come pre-installed on Windows devices. They are actually really good for the most part, and you should totally use them. Yes, they could be better. So if you want them to be better, tell Microsoft about it via social media or whatever means you can, and help them fix it. For my music pick of the day, I would say of the week, but I sometimes do multiple ones, is going to have to be hands down AWOL Nation. Man, that dude can really put together some catchy music. I always find myself, kind of singing along long after I've listened to one of their tunes. So very cool. AWOL Nation, they're good. I think their last album was awesome. I am not sure the entirety of this new album, but I'm going to listen to it. But I like this new one a lot. So Kevin, you're up.
Sweet. All right, so everybody pretty much knows of the Disney animated film classic Dumbo, about the elephant with the big ears and stuff like that, and flying and a mouse and ooh, magic feather. Well, the feather's not magic and stuff like that. Sorry to spoil it. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
But Tim Burton, which most people know from The Corpse Bride and Nightmare Before Christmas, stuff like that, and real tight friends with Johnny Depp and all
You
that.
think?
Yeah, he is going to do a live action / computer generated imaging movie remake of Dumbo, and I don't know how
Is
I
there
feel about
no other director in Hollywood? Kevin,
No.
answer me this question. People, is there no other directors in Hollywood? Is there no other actor / director in Hollywood besides Johnny freaking Depp and Tim Burton? I mean,
Yeah.
for the love of everything that's holy, what the heck?
Yeah, I
Seriously.
don't. It's like, oh, man, I heard about this last night. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know.
I mean, I get it. I like Nightmare Before the Christmas. I liked Nightmare Before Christmas. I liked some of this stuff. But that dude is not the only dude who can do that stuff. I mean, there are people who legitimately need to be given. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't clarify the laptop. So there are people that need to be given a chance. All right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
and I got to tell you, Tim Burton is not one of them.
Yeah, I mean, he's working. He did an Alice in Wonderland reboot a couple years ago, and then
No, just him.
he's actually working on another one or two
It's
Alice in
awesome.
Wonderland sequels to that live action movie with Johnny Depp, of course. So I guess we'll see. And before the show, Raul had shared a link to a new Daredevil trailer, which is an original series going to be available on Netflix. It'll be coming out, I believe, on April 10th. So if you get a chance to head over to YouTube and watch this trailer, wow, it looks really good. Nice and kind of not really dark per se, but a little dark. And Kingpin looks good. Matt Murdock looks good. Can't wait to see what the Daredevil true costume looks good or will look like. But man, the trailer really looks good. I'm starting to get excited for this Daredevil series to launch.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not, I'm not trying to be any kind of way about that, but I think that I like when there's a new director or actor or like no name people that kind of like
Just comes out of nowhere.
yeah, it just comes out of nowhere and you're just like, holy crap,
Yeah.
this person is amazing. Like I'm looking forward to seeing what this new person that has come in here, and just because you watch a bunch of Brad Pitt movies, you watch a bunch of Johnny Depp movies, you watch a bunch of kind of the main names that are kind of coming to my mind because I was thinking about Fight Club earlier today. Um, you think about those guys and you're like, you've seen them in so many different kinds of movies. It's hard to see them being a certain kind of star. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, some of them win Oscars after they've been in a gajillion movies, But
Right.
I'm just saying that I mean, I really like sometimes just out of nowhere, fresh, new, face drama. Yeah, like The Arrow. I freaking love that show. But exactly, Raw. That is in a nutshell what I was trying to get at. No one knew who that dude was. No one knew who anybody was on there, but they just came on the scene and exploded in a big way. And I think that it's I like that. I really do.
Yeah, nothing wrong with launching the careers of a bunch of new faces that can do some really great stuff.
Yep. So holy cow, we did something that we never do. We're on time.
I know, we're like on time.
I feel weird about this. I don't know if I can let this go. I don't think that we should. I don't think that we should do what we say we're going to do. That's setting us up for failure later down the road.
Oh yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
like when my wife met me for the first time and we went out on dates and stuff. I would totally make her pay, and I set the bar really, really low so that
Right.
when I do something nice, it's like, it's like, oh my God, you did something nice. Um, because trust me, I'm a guy and I don't remember stuff and I suck at life sometimes. So when I do stuff that's good, I needed to make a dent.
Need to make it memorable.
Hmm. All right,
Remember
Kevin,
that
we
one
can.
time?
Yeah, you remember that one time when I really took the time out to Anyways, so awesome. I'm good to go. Thank you, everybody listening later. I could go down the list like Daryl and Roland, Vernon, everybody, but thank you so much for being in the chat room, guys. We really appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing you again on Friday.
Yes, yes, we will definitely be back again at noon Eastern Standard Time on Friday. This is from another Friday the 13th. Goodness gracious. It's like 2 months in a row we've had Friday the 13th episodes. But that's okay. No Jason, no Crystal Lake, nothing like that. But if everybody would like to make sure to follow us on Twitter, Google Plus, Facebook, join us. Follow us on Instagram. I still keep saying that I'm gonna start posting some more pictures from there, and I swear that I will. Scouts honor. I will definitely be doing that soon. And like JJ said, we do appreciate everybody that
Hmm.
joins us live, watches later, and also listens later. Please leave reviews. We love reviews and feedback. Contact at thetechinformist.com. Send your feedback to us via email or via social media. Again, you can find me on Twitter at Kevin Harvell. You can find JJ at JJ Hammond Music. And I think until next time, that pretty much does it for this episode. So,
Yep.
again, thank you, everybody. And until next time, we are out.